day, and welcome to another episode of Espresso with Erin and Sarit. And today we're going to be talking about how to overcome overwhelm. Overwhelm. So if you've ever started a diet or a workout program, and then one weekend you're like, this is just too much. It's too much. I'm overwhelmed. Drop an O in the comments if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the new diet or workout program that you've started and you quit because you were too overwhelmed because there was too much.
So, the first thing that I want to share is, do you like our shirts?
I was going to say, actually, hey.
Do you like our shirts? So, 4th of July drop just came out, and as you can see, it is all summery vibes, and we got our merch on Saturday, and we're super excited about that. This shirt, you guys, I don't normally wear that shirt. So if you know me, you know that I'm actually I'm considering maybe like making this a crop top, so it's super summery and I look super festive. Either way, I'll figure it out. Actually, I'd love to know from you guys, C for crop or T for t-shirt. Should I keep it crop t-shirt, which is super big on me? It's actually not that big. It fits super well.
It looks great.
Or crop
Half shirt.
Would love to know, is it a T or a C?
Okay, also, this one dropped. Hey,
America.
And also, this one, this is my second favorite.
Erin loves.
Oh, by the way, you can get these at shop.erinandsarit.com.
Yeah, go get yours. Shop.erinandsarit.com. I actually made this a crop yesterday.
She said.
And you're smart. Whoever said both, you're smart. You said both. I think I'm going to make one of them a crop and one of them a t-shirt. Anyways, get your merch on. These feel amazing and we love them.
They're super soft.
With regards to overwhelm, now that we're done bragging about our merch, which is so exciting, is congratulations if you feel overwhelmed, because if you're not feeling overwhelmed, then you're not playing a game big enough. You know, we've heard one of our mentors literally say this on a call about a week ago. Our physiology is an expression of our emotions, right? So it's like, normally when you're feeling overwhelmed, the first thing that you're going to feel is some kind of emotion, right? And something for you to get intimate with right now is, what emotion do I feel when I am overwhelmed? So now, the next time you feel overwhelmed, first thing that you should do is tap yourself on your shoulder, on your back, depending on your shoulder mobility, and say, go me, because it means that you're stretching yourself. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone, and feeling overwhelmed is simply an indicator that you are stretching beyond what seems to be your current boundaries, which means that you're taking yourself to the next level and you're playing a bigger game. And that's what this is all about. Everybody says that they want to lose weight. The question is, does everybody want to grow? What people don't understand is that weight loss is actually a growth journey.
It's personal growth, baby. It ain't about the weight you lose.
It's about who you become in the process, especially when you play the game right. Weight loss does not need to be a personal development journey. For most people, it's not. And that's why, they keep going.
It doesn't need to be a personal development journey?
It doesn't have to be a personal development journey. When you play the game right, it is, though.
It doesn't have to be if you want to gain weight back.
Right.
So here's the dealio. Callie made up a song one time.
Oh, yeah.
Callie made up a song, and she said, better to be overwhelmed than underwhelmed. And so we sing that song anytime we feel overwhelmed. It's better to be overwhelmed than underwhelmed. And let me tell you, both of them are overwhelming.
Truth.
Because Because when you are taking action and on the journey to become better, it can become overwhelming. And when you are not in a position where you want to be, if you're depressed, if you're disappointed in yourself, if you're, always struggling financially or in your relationships or with your health or any of that, it's also overwhelming. Yes or no? It's kind of like, the concept I'm sure most of you have heard before. And if you haven't, choose your hard. No matter what, life, if you are alive, if you are a human being, is complicated. It is challenging. Sometimes it feels really sucky. Sometimes it feels really great. And it does not matter what you are pursuing or not pursuing. That will always be the case as long as you are alive. So which type of challenging, hard, and sometimes crappy and sometimes amazing would you rather, in the pursuit of the best possible life that you could create while you're here, or by allowing life to happen to you and getting whatever is given to you with no control?
Powerful.
With no power, with no choice. Which one would you rather? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, those of you in the inner circle, we're going to be diving deeper into this today with the special guest that you have. Okay, anywho, so when you're feeling overwhelmed, what can you do? Like, what do you do when you feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, so I just want to touch base real quick on the, about the offer and the shift in perspective. So you will feel overwhelmed in life anyways. And like you said, it's about what type of overwhelm would you rather feel? The overwhelm of being in control because you're breaking through your current bounds, or the overwhelm because you have no control? I don't know about you, but give me the overwhelm, and give me the overwhelm where I can control my circumstances any single day, versus the overwhelm of I have no control whatsoever.
And if you're watching this video, it is a choice.
And even in the situation where you're feeling overwhelmed because you have in the moment no control, like I'm thinking about the example of, like the day we all heard about COVID, right? Like we all heard about it, at a different point in the day, and we all remember our response. And even in a situation where you're feeling overwhelmed because maybe you don't have any control in the moment, for example, like there is a virus outbreak, and like your state is being shut down for 2 weeks, right? Like that was not within your control. Now, here's the thing. By the end of the day, even in circumstances that could happen in the moment where it seems as if you have no control, you always have control, should you choose to accept it. And very few people do it. Okay. It is called controlling your response.
This is why I said, if you're watching this video, you have enough freedom to where this is a choice. Having control or not having control is a choice, because you may not have control over what the government does.
Over the external circumstances.
You may not have control over the weather.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have control over what your spouse says or does. You do have control over your thoughts.
Always.
You may not currently have control, but you have the option to have control, to choose. It's choice. So I can choose the perspective that serves me. I can choose a perspective that doesn't serve me. I want to know what you guys are hearing. Like, I want to know what is really like landing in your hearts. Like, what are you here? What are you? Oh my gosh. So true. Okay. Or something said in a different way. You didn't hear it before, or something that just offered you a new perspective. Put it in the chat or in the comments. I want to know what you guys are picking up from this. So when something happens that is outside of your control, you get to control the perspective that you choose, and you get to control the action that you take. Yep. Those are choices. You also get to choose your emotions. That one might not be as believable for some of you, but it is the truth. You get to choose your emotions.
It takes training. It takes training for sure.
Because your emotions are generated by your thoughts, and you get to choose your thoughts.
1000%.
And you're also like, the perspective you choose is part of your thoughts. So if it's raining outside, I could be really upset because it ruined the plans that I had for the day. And my emotion is upset because of the thought that I have of my perspective of it ruined my plans for the day. I could also say, great, I get to save on water this month because it's filling up the pool. Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. And what could I do in the rain that's fun? Or what could I do inside that's different, that's also cool? If I had plans with friends, could I just invite them to my house? Can we also have equally as good of a time? So the thoughts we get to choose, which dictate our emotions. And then our emotions often, for most people, drive action. For most people, their actions are determined by their emotions. Mm-hmm. And this is usually not for the better. It's usually like, I had a really terrible day, so I'm going to eat everything. Or like, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling hurt, or I'm feeling judged, or I'm feeling criticized, or I'm feeling whatever emotion, overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to eat, or I'm just going to lay in bed.
Eating or drinking or just shopping mindlessly online, watching porn, or whatever these things may be. Those are just the mechanisms of avoidance. For me, back in the day, when I would get really overwhelmed, I would avoid through eating. And by the way, this is also why overwhelm and procrastination is, it goes hand in hand. And then it's a matter of which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like, am I overwhelmed because I procrastinated, or am I procrastinating because I'm really overwhelmed? So let's go over the few step formula with regards to when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like, how do I get out of it so I feel in control?
So before we go into that, just real quick, before we go into that, I want to read some of these, what's landing for you guys, because whoever's listening back to this, who's not live, might be able to take something away from how you guys are hearing it. Going through a divorce is a skill. I'm learning to not react because I don't always have to. That is my control.
Sure.
Absolutely. What am I allowing to steer my life? Loss of control, perspective, how I act, how I react to things that happen. We are in control of our thoughts, perspectives, and response to external stimulus. We are in control, which is powerful and liberating. Dance in the rain. That's what Sherilyn heard. Okay, great. Choose how you react. I would rather respond than react. The difference I see in response and react is response is like a knee-jerk reaction, react is a knee-jerk reaction. Like, it's like, I think it was last week where I gave the analogy of the orange. And I got this from Dr. Wayne Dyer, by the way, who he said, like, when you squeeze an orange, what comes out? Juice. What kind of juice? Orange juice. Why? Because that's what's inside the orange. So when something happens, boom, and you have a knee-jerk reaction to it, whatever reaction you have, whatever comes out of you is what is living inside you. So if it's anger, if it's rage, if it's frustration, if it's manipulation, if it's deception, if it's hiding, like whatever is your reaction to things by instinct is what is in you. You can't help it. It's going to come out of you. If love is in you, if patience is in you, if peace is in you, if respect is in you, then and the way that you create this is by responding intentionally through thought, right? Not just reacting, but actually thinking about the situation, choosing a perspective that then dictates your emotion and then how you act. Then you create a habit of reacting with love and compassion and patience and peace and forgiveness and joy. How awesome would it be to, when you feel overwhelmed, your natural response is like, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes humans different as a species than any other animal. Our ability to respond rather than react. For example, when Boogie sees a lizard, he will always react. He will not respond. Like, hey, dude, catch yourself. What did mom say right now? As soon as he sees a lizard, and it does not matter how far away it is, what's going on, he will rage and nothing else matters, right? Like that is his reaction. Okay. What separates humans from dogs or any other animal is our brain is designed to consciously choose versus just instinctively react. Okay, we're more than just instinctual human beings, and it requires training because we have evolved from another species. Okay, so whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, like we mentioned earlier, the first thing that you want to do is you want to shift your perspective around it, right? And gain control. And regardless of the circumstance, it is a choice. Okay. So what you get to do is you get to ask yourself, is this something that's within my control or is it not? If it is within my control, then how can I solve this? And we'll get into the mechanism in just a second. If it is outside of my control, okay, what emotion am I choosing to feel in order to help me to get through, overcome, whatever it may be. I remember when, like we got the word about COVID at the time, both Erin and I were personal trainers, and imagine in literally less than 24 hours and your rent is due in less than 10 days, like
income,
your entire source of income is cut off. Right. And not just that, like it is the uncertainty that came along, right? Like because of all the horrific stuff that you'd see in the news, people just falling down like it's nobody's business, right? I remember that I got super overwhelmed and I cried for like 30 minutes. And then I picked up the phone and I asked my client, okay, so this is what's happening. I can imagine you're super stressed out because we're not going to see each other for at least 2 weeks. What can I do to support you? Okay. And, like,
has anybody done the Rise Above workout program? Put Rise Above in the chat.
Yeah.
So continue with your story. They'll understand that question.
So, even in situations where you feel like you might not have any control, you can rise above and gain control.
So can you finish your story though? You
called
your client.
So,
how can I support you?
She said it would be super cool if, there would be any way where I could still work out for 30 minutes in my house. And, like I'm super stressed out. So a little bit of meditation afterwards would help too. So this gave rise to the Rise Above workout.
Having no equipment, limited space.
Right. Having no equipment, limited space. Of course, nobody was expecting it. It's like, okay, well, how do I help you? And then
the Rise Above was born.
the Rise Above workout program was born, right? And through
And
that,
then what happened after that?
the burn zones.
It was longer than 2 weeks. So then we were like, oh crap, we maybe should keep this going somehow.
Yeah.
Because people still need workouts that they can do with limited space and no equipment.
Right.
So then 8 more weeks.
So this is just an example of how in a situation where control is taken away from you, you can choose to respond in a way where you do gain control. The answer will take care of itself. So the question that you ask yourself first is, do I have control over this? If not, okay, have a human moment, and how can I take control into my own hands so that I can respond rather than react? Okay. And then based on that, so let's use the example of the Rise Above. Okay, I can, see how I can help to solve my client's current problems. Cool.
And to solve our income problem.
Right.
So Rise Above is free, Burn Zone's paid.
Yeah. So, right after that, it's like, okay, so this is what she needs. What do I get to do? Right. Like I wrote out the workout program, like we do that and then we get to record it. And then like, where do we host it? Blah, 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 blah. Right. So like steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So once you do get to a point where you realize, oh, okay, I am the captain of my ship. How do I steer the ship? That's the step-by-step action that you get to do. And you get to give yourself a timeline of when each and every single task is going to be accomplished. Because here's the deal. Time is going to either expand or contract based on however much time you give yourself. This is what the Parkinson's law is all about. You give yourself 3 hours to do something, it's going to take you 3 hours. You give yourself 2.5, it's going to take you 2.5. You give yourself 5 minutes, guess what? It's going to take you 5 minutes. You give yourself no timeline, it's going to take you 2 years.
Okay, if it ever gets done.
Right.
The other reason why people feel overwhelmed, though, is because, so yes to what you're saying, and the way that we did Rise Above was not knowing what the next step was. We just went for it, and it was messy and it was imperfect. And if you go through the burn zone, how many times do we screw up the clock or something? The point is not to be perfect. The point is not to know every single step that has to happen 100 steps in advance. And sometimes we get overwhelmed because we're like, well, I don't know what all the things are. This is for like the analyzers in the house where you have to know like every little minute detail of everything before you ever get started. It's you figure out what the next thing is by getting started. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we also get overwhelmed because we think that we have to know everything before we start. Put know it all in the chat. If that's you, you think you have to know every detail and every step that happens sequentially in perfection before you get started on anything. Because I'll tell you, the best discoveries that Sarit and I have made are when we didn't know what was next. You're like, I don't know. This is what I know. Let me do it. If it fails, it's feedback. If it succeeds, it's also feedback. Something in the failure did not work. What was it? Something in the success worked. What was it? Do more of this, do less of this. Boom, next step. So we make these things so complicated, we overwhelm ourselves and we get all crazy about it. And oftentimes is unnecessary. Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. And that basically sums up this whole video.
Yeah. So, overwhelm is just a part of the process. I believe that one of the biggest misconceptions that humans have is thinking that when I blank, the problems go away. So let's use the, because we're in the weight loss realm. we'll use a weight loss example.
Once
So
I
for
lose
example,
40 pounds,
you know, like when I lose 50 pounds, like all of my problems will go away.
I'll be happier. I'll attract a partner.
Right. And, you know, if you've been in our programs or in our community, you heard us say it's not about the weight that you lose, but who you become in the process. And problems don't go away. As a matter of fact, your problems grow. And it doesn't actually get easier. You just get better. Why do I share this with you? Because the point is not to make the problems go away. Life is a series of problem solving. To the degree that you can solve your problems, you will continue to get ahead in life. So it's not about not having problems. And that's one of the, you know, like most misleading things that I believe the educational system has taught us, that, you know, life is about not having any problems, that life is about easy. Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, how do I get better at solving my problems? That's thing number one. And number two is, how do I solve my problems in a way where it gets to be easy? Making something hard is a choice. Yes, it can be difficult. Yes, it can be painful. And you get to choose whether it's hard or easy. This is a conversation like I literally had.
And oftentimes something being easy is because you have support. Who put lone wolf? Lone wolf, LONEWOLF. 2 words I can spell. Thank you. Lone wolf in the comments. If you always try to do everything by yourself, I can do it better. I can do it faster. People don't understand me. I don't want to share my problems with somebody else. So I'm a burden or whatever. I'm going to do it. I do it alone. Lone wolf. All my lone wolfers, stop doing it alone. It is easier when you do it with other people.
It gets to get easier. It gets to get better. It gets to get funner.
More gooder. So if you put lone wolf in the chat and you are coaching with us already to some capacity, how can you utilize your coach so that you're not doing it so much alone? And you might not even know what you need. Just say, hey, I don't know what I need. This is what I'm experiencing. And they can ask you questions. Great. If you are a lone wolf and you're doing things alone and you're not coaching with us, I would recommend you consider it. Email me, Erin at erinandsarit.com. Can you put it there? Mm-hmm. Look how easy it is for me to type right now. Support.
It gets to get easy.
I'm not even doing it. It is just, it's magic. It's real magic. This is a real life example. Look at this. Now can you click the button and it's, oh my gosh, I didn't have to lift a finger and now you all have my email address. It's incredible. Okay. So I'm being a turd, but that is a real life example. And how, what?
A cute one.
A cute turd. The cutest turd you ever did see. So that's a real life example of how you can get creative to make it easier for yourself, you know? So email me right here.
Especially if you know and you're serious about going to a place that you've never been. You see, to take yourself to a place that you've never been, it's like you trying to drive your car from California to New York without a GPS by saying, okay, I'm just going to get in the car and I'm going to try to figure it out on your own. Could you get there? Sure. Will it take you way longer? Will it be more exhausting? 1000%. So it gets to get easier. And it's all a choice. How you think is a choice. How you respond is a choice. How you go about life, whether it's lone wolfing everything or getting support, is a choice. So you have the power. And all you get to get clear on is, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? And who can help me to get there? It's as simple as that. That's what Erin and I do. You don't need to have the answers. The reason why most people never even start is because they think that they have to have all the answers. Do you know how many times I hear that people want to get their personal training certification or their PN1 cert so that they can learn how to do this better? It gets to get a lot easier than that.
Hey, I did do that actually. I was genuinely curious to know.
And you
why I
can
was
do
doing
that. It's just, it gets to be easier than that. Seek all the resources, 1000%. Now I'll tell you, all you need to do is to extract one thing from a book to change your life. Now, reading a book will not change your life. It is the application of the thing that you do repetitively over time, over a long period of time, not for 4 days or 10 days, that will transform your life. And you have the power. What you get to remember is that you have the power. You just have to choose it and own it.
I want to say, I don't know who Facebook user is, but thank you. We're here. We're always going to show up for you no matter what, whether you're in one of our coaching programs or not at one of our coaching programs. Our heart and soul is here for you to succeed, period. We're always going to keep showing up. And, for those of you who are like, dang, I need somebody to really help lift me from this place that I'm in. If I'm feeling, defeated, if I'm feeling disappointed in myself, if I'm feeling lost, if I'm feeling like I lost myself, if I'm feeling like I'm not being the best example to my kids that I can be, if I feel like I've been struggling to lose the same 20 pounds over and over for the last 10 years, if I don't know what else to do, if I'm not even sure if it's possible for me to get to my weight loss goals, if any of these thoughts are rolling through your head and you don't currently have somebody that you're working with, send me an email. Where is it?
Boom.
Right there. Send me an email. Just say, I'm done doing it
promise-
alone. I'm done doing it alone.
I promise she doesn't bite.
Maybe.
If she does, it's with love.
Okay. Then I think that's it for today's conversation.
That's it for today.
That's it for today's conversation. So have a beautiful day. We want you to be great. We believe you get to be great. And there is a power in you that you may have begun to realize, or you may not even know exists yet. And my goal, and I can speak for Sarit too, is to pull that as close to the surface as we can within you so that you can see that this power exists in you to create literally whatever you want. We both struggled with our weight. We both struggled with finances. We both been broke AF. We both struggled in relationships. All of this has generated knowledge and wisdom to express through detail in our own stories and the people that we've coached and worked with to help you understand you maybe better than you understand yourself. So if you don't know where the next level is, I can help you find it.
She can.
Okay.
She will. And brand new 4th of July merch. Get it at shop.erinandsarit.com if you haven't already.
Bang!
Flex Friday.
I think it makes
so
your
good.
muscles look bigger if you wear these shirts.
It
I'm
does.
pretty
It
sure.
does. Yeah, look at that. Get some. Okay, you guys, happy continued Momentum Monday. Have a beautiful day. And please, if you thought about someone while you were listening to this video and you're like, dude, they need to listen to it, do us a favor and please help us to spread the love and share the love. This is the gift that keeps on giving. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. ES Army strong. Have a beautiful day and week ahead and much love. Take care.
See ya.